All my life, I've been one to share my inner world. As a kid, I'd always prefer playing by myself rather than with my brother. I'd never really talk about my inner feelings or share any achievement with family. I'd just kind of gently place my diploma or medal on the counter in the entry hall of our house, and then only explain myself when my mom would walk in with a very confused expression on her face and would ask me, "Did you have a championship today?" Yeah, being an athlete, my family didn't always know I had competitions. And even when they did, I wouldn't always let them come and watch. That's because I just grew to feel uncomfortable at the thought of letting them down as they watched. However, little did I know, this close personality of mine would nearly be the end of me. And I fully realized that when, like many teenagers, I found a parasite sitting on my shoulder, and that parasite was depression. Depression is one of the world's leading causes of death. According to the World Health Organization, over 300 million people suffer from depression, and about 20% of adolescents are affected by it by the time they become adults. Now, I'm 18, and I'm standing on the periphery between what used to be fun and games and true adulthood. And not long ago, I found myself in the unfortunate 20% of adolescents affected by depression. I'm not here looking for comfort. I'm here to tell you my story. A story I do not very much like to share, but for the sake of my own belief, and hopefully for the betterment of all, I will. Almost 6 years ago, a great family tragedy has absolutely demolished me. My father passed away. That left me lost, scared, broken, confused, questioning this world, and most importantly, longing for any bit of pleasure or joy that I could possibly grasp. I needed escape. I needed escape because I simply couldn't talk about my inner self, share my thoughts, or solve my problems because of my close personality. And the escape I did find was a double-edged sword. I found myself in the cyber world, more specifically in the world of online video games. I found it as an easy way to surround myself in a safe bubble that would get rid of any negatives of this world. 3 years after my father's passing, I got into a strategy game called Dota 2, which was on the rise at the time. Quickly, I was drawn into the game because of the popularity it had, the interesting gameplay, and the concept of a professional scene astonished me. And of course, the fact that it made all my problems seemingly go away. I mean, people were making millions, literally $24 million for the prize pool of the World Championship. And every day, I'd come home and I'd spend at least an hour just playing the game. And eventually, I reached a substantial skill level, began participating in amateur tournaments. But the most important discovery that I made on my race against my problems was finding others just like me that wanted something to get them away from their problems in hopes that their escapes become their salvation. Problem was, I wasn't realizing that I was slowly driving myself into a concrete wall of disappointment. My grades weren't looking good at the time, and I decided to spend 3,000 valuable hours of my time on a video game, when I could have really been doing something more productive. See, at the time, I was just a lost kid that wanted something to push his sadness away. And instead of working on things that actually mattered, I simply went with the easier option, the one that, at the time, seemed to be more effective at bringing me joy. It was too late for me to fully and critically grasp the situation, blinded by the thrill of tournaments, small rewards from games, and various other achievements. Those moments of pride and happiness can never make up for the knowledge and opportunities that I lost. And I take full responsibility for my actions, or rather lack thereof. What would have been the right thing to do, on the other hand, is what I've been doing for the first 3 years after my father's passing, and that's physical exercise and competing in sports, more specifically, fencing. Physical exercise is a great way to relieve stress, as your body produces endorphins, your brain's natural painkillers. It makes you feel better in general and promotes better sleep, reducing stress levels. Before my extreme indulgence into the world of online video games, what I did was push through the adversity of stress, benefiting from it physically, while also simultaneously earning various achievements. I earned 6 national titles, 4 city titles, and was ranked 46 in the world. Unfortunately, those moments of pride were, of course, very uplifting. Unfortunately, my fencing career had to be put to a halt due to academic expectations. And with the hiatus came back the stress, the anxiety, and the video games. People told me to stop. And trust me, I tried. It's just that all of these negative things, all of the schoolwork, all of my responsibilities, they were all coming back to me. And there exactly, I found the heart of my problem, 2 years after it has corroded my life. I was stuck in a cycle of disappointment and instant gratification. I started out lost and sad over my father's death. I found comfort in the world of online video games. But once my responsibilities have caught on to me, I was once again stressed out and seeking more short-term pleasure in video games. In his book, Leaders Eat Last, Simon Sinek's main thesis is that a focus on short-term pleasure is responsible for many failures in contemporary society, as we seem to fail to do a cost-benefit analysis, see the long-term effects, as is the case in many of global issues that so many people seem to be ignoring, climate change, overpopulation, and the freshwater crisis. What we must do is to stop. Take a moment to contemplate where this escape route is leading us. We must resist the temptation of instant gratification and to push through difficult times, which is why to you I introduce the concept of stressed lobsters. That's right. Bear with me. According to the wise Rabbi Dr. Abraham Twerski, in his interview about responding to stress, lobsters are soft and mushy animals that live in hard shells, but these hard shells don't expand as the lobster grows. So eventually, the lobster feels pressured and uncomfortable. In order to relieve the situation, the lobster must cast off its shell and grow a new one. See, our crustacean friends have a lot to teach us, as their incentive for growth is their feeling of discomfort. Which is why we must resist the temptation of instant gratification, to become better people and to actually solve our problems instead of running away from them. I know I will. And if you're in time of struggle or despair, push through it. Cast off your shell. Difficult times are signals for growth. Thank you.